Hey guys, I'm Michael Lloyd, pro pickleball player and coach. I've been ranked inside the men's top 10, beating the best players in the world, and spent years teaching, training, and competing on tour. If you've ever played someone who just hits everything as hard as they can, drives, speed ups, returns, and it feels like chaos, this video is going to completely change how you deal with that. Because most players try to fight fire with fire, and that's exactly why they lose. When I first started playing mixed doubles, I actually played with someone who had amazing drives, amazing serves. She was really just hitting the ball as hard as she could on everything. It was an absolute banger. So I had to really compliment her game by kind of doing the same thing. So we were really just getting out there, hitting everything as hard as we could, maybe 1-2 dinks at a time. But other than that, everything was just in the air as fast as we possibly could be. The problem was, after I played with her and tried to get other partners, everybody thought that I was only a banger as well. So that was a little tough for me, but something that kind of started my career. Hard hitters or bangers are some of the most frustrating players to play with at the rec level. Not because they're unbeatable, but because they feel overwhelming and force you to play their game. So instead of trying to out-hit them, we're going to employ these 6 control tactics. Number 1, stop trying to out-hit them. The worst thing you can do against a banger is trying to hit harder than them. That's their game. First, we're gonna show some examples of us just trying to hit back and forth, counter as hard as we can, and see how that plays out for us. All right, here we go. So feeding in the ball, they're gonna be driving balls back at us. We're gonna be trying to be countering these back as hard as we can. A lot of times we're just gonna be giving them a lot more pace to work with, okay? Even that ball, I countered pretty good, but Alex still had something offensive to work with, okay? We're not gonna be winning that point more times than not, okay? Trying to push them back deep, still giving them a lot of offensive opportunities, right? Even again, we won that point, but we're on our back foot, we're on our heels. That's not gonna be a winning formula for us. We've all played this team before, right? They're just hitting every ball as hard as they can. You're really on your back foot, on your heels, just trying to defend, but a lot of times it doesn't really feel like you're ever making progress, right? You're consistently giving them something a little bit weaker, a little bit shorter, a little bit higher for them to work with, and they're just bringing more and more pace at you over and over again. Here's another example. They're attacking out of the air in transition, really pushing us back. And again, Hannah and I are just really trying to fight, not even really keeping our position, right? We're kind of up a couple of steps and then have to take a couple of steps back. It's this kind of uphill battle, constantly trying to fight for position, and we're not winning. We're really just in full survival mode here, right? We're not really thinking, we're not really actually actively thinking about a counter to this. We're kind of just reacting and giving them more firepower to work with. They've been speeding up for as long as they've been playing, so they're probably pretty good at it. If you play their game, you lose. Your goal is not to match their pace, it's to neutralize it. Number 2, master the reset. The reset is your best weapon against power. When they speed the ball up, your job is not to counter every time. It's to take that pace and soften it. Drop it into the kitchen, take away their ability to keep attacking. If you can reset consistently, you force them to play a slower game, and most bangers hate that. The big thing here is we want to know how to reset, and that's going to take pace away from our opponents and put us in a much more favorable position, okay? A lot of times I see people from the kitchen just trying to counter back as hard as they can, push them back. This leads to them still getting offensive opportunities. Instead, we want to focus on being nice and compact, really getting the ball down at their feet or even at the kitchen line, okay? So here we'll play this out a little bit, okay? So one of the first things I can do is hit that very first reset down. They've got to travel forward. They're hitting up on that next ball, right? That's going to be a really favorable position if you can control that first drive, okay? We'll show that again. Alex is driving at me. I'm hitting a much softer reset. Look, this is already leading towards a lot of confusion, right? Instead of me just giving them back these floatier balls, we're being shorter, more compact, focusing on getting the ball down, okay? And if we have some opportunities to reset, we will use that as well, okay? But instead of just swinging at these counters, trying to push them back, we're much more focused on neutralizing and making them hit up on that next ball. If you can neutralize a lot of these balls and reset, eventually the banger will overhit. You can let that ball go and you'll be in a great spot. If you're enjoying this video and have ever wondered what your true pickleball rating is, I have an amazing new tool you're going to love. It's the completely free Pickleball Ratings quiz, now available on pickleballhub.com. It's a quiz that has been reviewed by the pros and uses USAP standards to give you your most accurate rating online. The quiz will not only give you a detailed breakdown of your ratings, but the next steps you should take to get to the next level in your game. You can find the quiz on pickleballhub.com by clicking the link in the description. Number 3, keep the ball low. Power players need height to attack. If the ball is low, they can't speed it up effectively, so your job is simple. Now our goal here is to really make sure that we're just keeping the ball low. Whether it's a dink, a counter, a reset, anything like that, we're trying to make it really difficult for our opponents to hit up and out on the ball, right? We'll play this out, okay? So if Alex drives that first ball, instead of me countering it back deep, I'm just trying to make it low, make him hit up over and over again. A lot of times that's gonna lead to him hitting an out ball and you'll be in a great spot. All right, again, playing this out, just trying to keep everything nice and low, not give them anything to work with or hit down on. We want them kind of hitting up on each and every ball, so we'll be in an advantageous position, okay? Nice and low. Even if we bring them forward, everything's low. Our drops, our resets, everything puts them in a bad spot for those drives and for those speed ups. If they're consistently hitting a ball kind of below their kneecaps towards their feet, that's a really hard shot for them to be aggressive with and execute consistently. We're starting these guys in transition now. We're really focused on just keeping everything low. This is gonna be really difficult for them to hit up and be aggressive with. If they want to get that into the court while they're driving, they're gonna have to take some pace off. That puts us in a better position as well. Okay. Again, just keeping everything nice and low, forcing everything down at their feet, really making sure that every ball they're hitting up on. So we get one of those. Remember, this works for all parts of the court. So whether at the baseline, transition zone, or now we're gonna have them at the kitchen line, keeping everything low with those dinks and resets is gonna put you in a great spot. Keep everything low, dinks, drops, resets. A low ball equals no attack opportunity. Number 4, target their movement. Most bangers are great when they're set. They struggle when they're moving. Hold them wide, move them forward and back, make them hit on the run. Power drops when balance disappears. All right, they're at the baseline, we're at the kitchen. We're gonna make sure we move them out wide with the first ball and then try to keep them on the move from there, right? It's really difficult if they're always moving side to side, up and back to hit consistent, good drives and speed ups. Here's a couple more examples here. Really focusing on kind of pushing them out wide with that first ball, making that team move side to side, up and back. A lot of times this is gonna open up a ton of gaps and we're gonna be able to move them around and create some openings. Again, this same concept is gonna apply to the kitchen line just like it did at the baseline or in transition, okay? Really wanna make sure that they're moving side to side as a team, hopefully creating some gaps and making it a little bit harder for them to hit those speed ups. All right, we're gonna be really aggressive from the start, moving them around. Even if they speed balls up, we're gonna try to move them side to side. It's a lot more difficult when you're on the full stretch to hit those same speed ups. Okay, here we go, some more examples. Moving Alex around, creating some openings, moving them side to side. Again, we're trying to move them around. Even if they speed up, we wanna move them side to side, create a lot of openings, really make sure that they're not stationary the entire time they're attacking us. If you're enjoying this video and you're around that 3.5 to 4.5 level and you feel like you're close but not quite breaking through to becoming an advanced player, I just launched something that's gonna help you make that jump to advanced play. It's called the 5.0 Blueprint. Break through the 4.0 ceiling and become an advanced player. Now available on pickleballhub.com. I built this as a step-by-step system to help you break through to the next level without wasting time guessing what to work on. I walk you through how advanced players actually think through points, why they win certain rallies, why they avoid others, and how they stay in control of games. Because most players aren't stuck from a lack of effort, they're stuck because they're missing the structure behind high-level play. Inside the 5.0 Blueprint, you'll learn how 5.0 players think about points differently from 4.0 players, how they train to actually improve, not just hit more balls, how they game plan to win more matches in tournaments, the patterns they rely on to stay in control of points, and the small adjustments that instantly separate advanced players from everyone else. This isn't about hitting harder or drilling more, it's about understanding what actually separates 4.0s from 5.0s and tightening up your game to break into that next level. If you're serious about breaking through the plateau, you can click the link in this description or the comment section of the video to get started. All right, let's get back to the video. Number 5, let more balls go. This is huge. Hard hitters hit a lot of balls out, but beginners swing at everything. If you learn to recognize balls that are going long, you get free points. You don't have to win every rally. Sometimes you just have to let them lose it. A really good rule of thumb here is letting balls go out. If they're anywhere near shoulder height, anything around my shoulders, I'm just gonna let them go. I wanna see if that ball's landing in or out. Once I start to gather some information, maybe even some balls that are even a little bit lower than my shoulders would be going out too, okay? There we go. We'll play this out. See what happens. That first ball I think is going in. The second one's a little bit higher, still landing at the baseline. Even though that ball was in, I've got some information to work with now. That was kind of right below my shoulders, so that ball I know from now on most likely is gonna stay in. All right, we're looking for any drives kind of around shoulder height. If they're around that, we're gonna let them fly. Just like that, that's right around our shoulders. We're gonna let that ball go, see where it lands, and that one was out. This applies to all areas of the court, so now we're gonna pay attention to the height of the ball in transition zone. They're attacking that first one, kind of at my chest. The next one's a little bit higher. We'll let that ball go. Okay, again, some more examples here. First one's nice and low, second one's too high, so let it fly. Now we've worked our way up to the kitchen. Our threshold's gonna change just a little bit here. Because they're closer into the court, they don't need to hit as high for that same ball to go out now. So now I'm trying to think of anything kind of right at my chest level. I'm gonna pay attention to that, let it go, and then I'll gather some information from there, okay? So we'll think the first couple, and then he speeds up a ball. I think that one's going in at my chest. That one's a little higher, so I'm gonna let that one go. Here we go. First one's at our waist, second one's a little bit higher, last one's going out, okay? Again, really pay attention to the height of the ball. That'll tell you what you need to know. In the beginning of a match, I wanna let more balls go out. Even if I'm not sure, I wanna gather some information that's gonna help me throughout the course of the match. Number 6, pick your counters. You don't have to counter every fastball, but when you do, be intentional. Short, compact, punch. Aim low, aim middle, don't try to do too much. Controlled counters beat wild swing. Now we're gonna talk about when you wanna counter a ball, how to counter that effectively, okay? See a lot of people trying to meet pace with these big swings on their counters. It's gonna be really difficult for you to time that. Instead, we wanna focus on being nice and short and compact. The goal is to get it back on them in a hurry, not to apply more pace, okay? So we got some examples here. Alex is driving at the baseline. I'm just trying to be nice and punchy, super short. Again, my goal is to get it back on them as quickly as possible. I can do that with a nice compact swing. I really wanna focus on keeping everything out in front, right? Got a nice ready position. My hands are about a foot in front of my body. I'm gonna counter that ball about a foot in front of my body, and then I really only need to punch 3 to 6 inches to get the pace that I need. Some more examples here. We're really just trying to be nice and compact. We're not trying to add more pace to the ball. We're just trying to use the pace that's being provided and get the ball back on them as quickly as possible. All right, let's talk about this in transition now. In this area, it's really important for me to be compact. My whole goal is just to get it down on their feet. They're in a vulnerable position, kind of in the middle of no man's land. We only talk about no man's land when you're still trying to be aggressive like that. Normally transition is totally fine to be in, but when you're attacking from there, you're gonna put yourself in a vulnerable spot. We need to make sure that we take advantage of that and get it down at their feet. Okay, just trying to get everything down at their feet, being nice and aggressive and with those short, punchy volleys. Some examples at the kitchen line, just being nice and compact, getting that ball down, applying pressure to them by just getting it down at their feet. Just like that. Once you stop trying to match power and start controlling pace, bangers become way easier to beat. And if you want to learn the exact shot that allows you to control the pace of a point, you need to master the third shot drop. So let's break that down next. See you there. Thanks for checking out the video. If you're serious about improving your pickleball game, we've built out a ton of resources for you over at pickleballhub.com. We've got courses, game analysis, training tools, written guides, and step-by-step breakdown, all designed to help you improve faster and play with more confidence. Our goal is to become the go-to resource for players who want to take their game to the next level. So if you ever feel stuck or you just want to keep progressing, just Google Pickleball Hub and you'll find everything there. We've also linked our best free resources in the description and pinned comment below so you can easily get started. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you on the next one.